Okay, so good afternoon everyone. So I will be your reporter for this afternoon. My name is Mr. Riniel Emmanuel G. Salak, Master of Arts in Education, major in Teaching Science at the University of Mindanao Professional School. So my topic for this afternoon is all about applied engineering and architecture and how it is connected with the modern science. So let us define first what is engineering and what is architecture. Civil engineering usually is involved when there is a construction phase going on, such as planning and overseeing the construction process of any buildings or any other infrastructures. When we talk about architecture, this is the process usually involved during the pre-construction phase, such as planning and developing the interiors of the building. So it means that the architect will first decide the plan and then try to see the interior, what will happen, and then after the planning and designing the pre-construction, then engineering the civil engineer will continue in the construction phase to facilitate the construction process. So again, when we talk about architecture, it focuses on the design of buildings and physical structures. So while engineering, it focuses on the technical and structural aspects of construction. So let us define first these three, know how it is connected. When we talk about engineer or engineering, when we talk about architect or architecture, and when we talk about science, so how it is connected with each other. So when we talk about science, it applies the scientific method to explore the nature world. So while engineering applies scientific principles to solve problems or develop products, no, when you say develop products like what we are using, no, these are some devices, no, that we are using until today is developed by engineers, especially our cars that we are using. So next is architecture. It applies design and planning that serves society's wants and needs. So the, uh, the architect will plan, will design, no, based on the needs and the wants in the society or in the community. So these two, when we talk about science and engineering, these two both apply scientific principles to research and development. So when we talk about engineering and architecture, it is a practical application of engineering products. Next, when we talk about science and architecture, it is a practical applications of scientific knowledge and discoveries. So these three have different meaning, no? Different aspects, but these three is interconnected with each other. We talk about science, we talk about engineering, and we talk about architecture. So these three is connected in terms of the development, no, of what we are experiencing right now. So who are the beneficiaries? If these three are connected, like science, engineering, and mathematics, I mean architecture, if these three are connected, who are the beneficiaries? Of course, we, the people, no? We are using what they had developed, what they had designed, what they have constructed, and we are the beneficiaries of this technology, this development that we are experiencing right now. Okay, so again, when you talk about what is the connection, so the connection of these three, no, the science builds knowledge of how the natural world works. So engineers and architects use that knowledge to develop useful technologies. So if we try to trace back, no, the first one is science. The science will try to research to uh, and then to understand the natural phenomena and develop knowledge of how this works. So the engineer and the architect will connect their approaches based on the natural world of knowledge in the science. So engineers and architects use this knowledge to develop useful technology that we can be used today. So before we'll try to see the connection of these three, no, try to go back to the history, how it is started, how it is developed, and how it is appreciated and try to use in the present time. So again, when we talk about engineering, it is a derived Latin word that means ingenium, no? That is intellectuality, especially mental power and cleverness of invention. So engineering has existed since ancient times when human being designed inventions such as wedge, lever, wheel, and pulley. The time that people try to make their works easier, engineering already started from the ancient times. Okay, so the evolution of the word engineering. So at during the time of Greek, no, the word used is ingenium again, no, the Latin word is ingenium, and then in 1250 BC, the word used is ingenie, which means a military machine. And then in 1390 BC, no, the engine word has evolved to what we call as engineer, meaning a person who operates the military machine. And then in 1500 BC, it is called engineering, no, the discipline of civilians. Okay, so this is the history. If you try to see it, no, at the time that people started to use this one to make their works easier, no, engineering has already started. So in the Egyptian technology, when they use the ramp, no, especially for putting the blocks and putting the pyramids, then they use the wheel to make it easier for them to carry some of the blocks from one place to another place, and then inventions, the ships, the lighthouses, the rope, and the lever. Okay, so these are some of the examples of during the ancient times that engineers until now is uh, until now is much appreciated. So these are the seven wonders of the world. So the Great Pyramid of Giza, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Zeus statue, the Temple of Artemis, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, the Colossus of Rhodes, and the Lighthouse. Okay, so overview overview on all the ages of the mankind. Now, it started from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age until the pre-scientific revolution to industrial revolution until to the second industrial revolution and then to the information age. So uh, today we are on the information age. So what we have experienced right now, it's because of the information age. So let's try to see the Stone Age from the Paleolithic to Mesolithic and the Neolithic era where still uh, there's no such thing as buildings or etc. No, that's why it's called a Stone Age. People try to survive uh, uh, living in the cave, or some of their uh, uses are the stones. Next, we have the Bronze Age from 2100 to 1200 BC. Early human civilization smelting its own copper, alloying with tin or trading for it. So, during this time, you have the rise of civilizations like the ancient Egypt, now the ancient Rome or the ancient Greece, the Chinese dynasty, and the ancient Mayans. So mankind had perfected the art of crafting stone structures, from pyramids to stone coliseums, using metal to reinforce weapons and early transportation. So after that one, here comes the Iron Age. So from 1200 BC to 400 AD, this is known for improvement with humans working with metals and forming better and improved weapons. So during this time, people are using swords, daggers, as well as better farming equipment. So after the Iron Age, we have pre-scientific age from 400 Anno Domini to 1500 Anno Domini. These medieval times with bows and arrows, the catapults and siege engines featuring uh, and broader studies into the sciences of electricity, machinery, and chemistry. So this time, this is what we call as the prelude to steampunk, because during this time, there are steam engine that they are already using. Okay. After that one, we have the atomic age from 1945 to 1954. During this time, this is the dropping of the first atomic bomb and the Red Scare McCarthyism. So, so if we trace back in history from October 4, 1957, the Soviet Union releases the mission called as the Sputnik 1. And then on 1959, the Luna 1. Then in September 12, 1959, we have the Luna 2. October 7, 1959, the Luna 3. Then in 1961, we have the Soviet Union releases the mission, the Vostok 1, in which there is a person already involved in the person of Yuri Gagarin. And then in 1965, the Voskhod 2 with Alexei Leonov. And in 1965, the Gemini 6E and Gemini 7. So during this time, people try from the earth, people try to go beyond the earth, no? They try to see what is beyond the earth, and then try to explore the moon and the outer space. So the artificial satellite and another celestial body has been developed during this time. So after that one, we have the information age, in which we have already gathered those mga information, the data needed. So also known as the digital revolution or the computer age and the digital age in the late 1970s to the present until now. So during this time, there is a change from analog, mechanical, and electronic technology to digital technology. So now the question is, what will happen to the future if uh, if this information age will uh, after this one, what will happen? So people are still searching for knowledge. So maybe the future would be robotics, electrical, and bioengineering. In fact, during this time, it is already started. When we talk about robotics, electrical, and bioengineering, some of the developed robotics during this time have been shut down because uh, the inventor of some of the robots, they had some fear that even though they did not program that kind of activity for that robot, but some of the robots now have developed by their own thinking. So if we think, no, there's a possibility that robots will uh, shall we say, evade in the near future if this will continue, no? Pero this is part of the plan, no? Part of the process, part of the development of modern science. So now let's go back to the history of architecture. So some of these have this is what we call as the Egyptian architecture during the mastabas in 3000 BC, and the steep pyramids in 2600 BC and 2000 BC. So these are the picture of the Greek architecture, the Temple of Athena, at the Acropolis, at the Parthenon, and the Temple to Nike during 420 to 448 BC. Then we have also the Roman architecture, so in 72 AD, and the Pantheon. So the medieval Gothic, the Notre Dame Cathedral in France during the 1145 to 1220 AD. Now, let's try to see some of the famous Filipino architectural design. No? Number one there is in Manila Hotel. No? The first hotel in Asia, the first hotel with an elevator in 1975. No? Originally by William Parsons but renovated by Locsin in 1975, a Filipino architect. Then we have the Philippine General Hospital, again by William Parsons. Then the UST or University of Santo Tomas main building by Roque Reuno, and the post office building by Juan Arellano. Another one, we have the FEU or the Far Eastern University main building by Pablo Antonio, the Metropolitan Theater by Juan Arellano, the College of Engineering and Liberal Arts in UP Diliman by Cesar, and the Church of the Risen Lord. Another famous architectural design is the Iglesia ni Cristo Cathedral by Carlos Santos Villa. We all know that INC Cathedral is very well known in terms of architectural design. especially their cathedrals in the city and highly developed areas. No? Then we have the Meralco Building by Jose Zaragoza, the Philippine Heart Center by George Ramos, the Quiapo Amos by George Ramos, the Quezon Monument by Federico Illustri, the Central Bank of the Philippines by Gabriel Formoso, and the Asian Institute of Management again by Gabriel Formoso. So another famous architectural design is the SM Mega Mall, or also known today as the MOA, no, by Antonio Sindiong, and the Robinson's Galleria by William Coscolwita. Then we have this one by Leandro Locsin uh, in Brunei, the New Istana in Brunei, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the Parish of the Holy Sacrifice in UP Diliman, and the Philippine Stock Exchange Center. So again, the summary. So when we try to say the connection of these three, the applied engineering and architecture have significantly contributed to the development of modern science through their practical applications and innovations. So applied engineering and architecture have played a crucial role in the development of modern science by applying scientific principles to practical design and construction, fostering innovation and driving technological advancements that have shaped our world. Then, the collaboration between applied engineering, architecture, and science is fundamental in driving innovation and progress in modern science what we have experienced today. So, the practical application of scientific ideas through engineering leads to the development of new technologies that shape our world and contribute to scientific advancement. That's all. Thank you for listening, and again, good afternoon, everyone.